In the past, McMahon has admitted he personally used steroids and shared them with a friend, but he says he was not a dealer, and he stopped using steroids before using them became illegal. Outside court, responding to the indictment, McMahon would only say,
"Sometimes life isn't fair, and unfortunately, for me, I believe this is one of those instances."
It's a case that is sending shockwaves through gyms all over Long Island. Athlete Pete Fierro says steroids are easily available on college campuses, but he says no one should use them.
So they just try to be something they're not for the public, and I guess they had no other way out but taking steroids.
Some of the drug deals allegedly took place at the Nassau Coliseum, where McMahon booked wrestling matches.
What do you say? Give us a second. In a manner appropriate for a trial involving professional wrestlers, the lawyers came out slugging early in the morning and continued right through the day. First up was prosecutor Sean O'Shea, who described the World Wrestling Federation and its founder, Vince McMahon, as a corporate drug pusher with a drug pusher owner, who mixed up a chemical cocktail of steroids to ensure the popularity of the WWF and of its wrestlers. O'Shea then went on to talk about McMahon's cover-up of steroid use at the WWF. A cover-up the prosecutor said included check laundering and mysterious phone calls to a steroid-dealing doctor. Late in the morning, McMahon's lawyers began their own aggressive closing arguments, painting her clients as the victim of a government witch hunt. Attorney Laura Bravetti said there was not a single shred of evidence to support the government's claims. She then went to great lengths trying to discredit the testimony of key prosecution witnesses, going so far as calling one of them a liar. Dave Meltzer publishes a leading newsletter for the wrestling industry. He says he thinks McMahon will be acquitted, even though he says there's no question that steroid use was once prevalent in the World Wrestling Federation.
I think a lot of the stuff in there is evidence of what I believed all along is kind of proven to be true. Now, that doesn't mean he should be convicted for it. I don't think he should be based on the evidence presented.
Good morning, Your Grace.
Please. Good night, guys.
Good night. Any thoughts?
Sorry.
Any thoughts?
Not till tomorrow.
It's another day in court for World Wrestling Federation founder Vince McMahon, who arrived in Uniondale this morning with his family and his attorney, as he has for the past 2 weeks. Deliberations in McMahon's steroid distribution trial began around 11:30 yesterday morning, continued until about 9:30 last night, and then resumed early today. The jury of 6 men and 6 women is trying to decide whether McMahon is guilty of 1 count of conspiracy to distribute steroids. Prosecutors say McMahon, who admits being a former steroids user himself, is a corporate drug pusher. McMahon's lawyers, on the other hand, say the wrestling mogul is the victim of a government witch hunt, and they insist that he's completely innocent. World Wrestling Federation head Vince McMahon allowed himself just the slightest expression of relief as the verdict was read. Not guilty of conspiring to distribute steroids to several of his larger-than-life wrestlers.
Coming into this, I didn't have a great deal of faith in the judicial system as such, nor necessarily in the way and manner in which someone is prosecuted. But the one thing I've always had is faith in humanity. And today, that was reaffirmed.
The trial lasted about 2 weeks and included testimony from some of the WWF's biggest stars, Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, Ravishing Rick Rude, and several others, all of whom admitted they once used steroids but denied that McMahon was their dealer. During lengthy closing arguments on Wednesday, prosecutor Sean O'Shea called McMahon a wealthy corporate drug pusher, while McMahon's lawyers questioned the motivation behind the government's case, calling it, in essence, a witch hunt. After the verdict, McMahon broke his 2-week-long silence to speak about the 2.5-year-long government investigation of him and his corporation, an investigation that would now appear to be over.
It has been quite an ordeal. And upon the onset of the investigation, certainly there's no one in America who is not above being investigated for any reason. I thought that from time to time the investigation was a bit unfair. I thought that the charges that were hurled against me and my company were wrong.